guys. I am going to show you some accessibility resources that I have been exploring in the Microsoft platforms. So I'm going to show you one in PowerPoint, one in Word, one in OneNote, and then show you some stuff in Microsoft Translator. Just a quick note, most of these things exist across the various Microsoft platforms. I'm just kind of choosing one in each specific area to show you about so that we can fit it all in. But the first one is actually already on your screen. As you're looking at the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see some closed captions. So as I'm speaking, it's translating what I'm saying onto the screen. I have this as a setting in English, obviously. So I'm just going to show you really quickly how I got here. I'm currently in the Microsoft PowerPoint web version. To be honest, intended to do this in the desktop app. It should be under the slideshow ribbon. There should be a closed captions option here, but it is not there. Sorry, a subtitles option. So I think it's a version issue, but it is in the web-based version. So if you just go to your Manage Bookmarks and Office 365, it'll come up with all of your different apps and you can select PowerPoint that way. But once I'm here, I am again in the slideshow ribbon, and then there's this always use subtitles option. So if I click on that, you can choose the language that you're speaking in. I'm obviously speaking in English. You can choose the subtitle language. So I had it already set in English. I'm going to go ahead and change my subtitle language to Spanish just so we can see what that option looks like. And then in addition, there are these 4 different locations of the subtitles. I would say that I've seen a few presentations where the subtitles were overlaid, and it does make it a little bit difficult to sometimes read the slides because sometimes the closed captions cover the information that's on the slide. So I would suggest always doing one of the not overlaid options, either above or below. I prefer below. So I'm just going to quickly go back to the slideshow, and now you can see that as I'm speaking, it's now translating what I'm saying into Spanish because I have the Spanish option chosen. So I just think this is a really great option for doing any sort of PowerPoint presentation where you're presenting to a group of people that may have different needs. So if you know you're speaking to a largely Spanish speaking group, then you might have these subtitles on in Spanish. Or if you're just speaking to people who might have trouble hearing you across the room or anything like that, it was really helpful during some presentations to be able to have this on and just follow along with people a little bit differently. So that is a really cool PowerPoint option. I'm going to swap over now to Microsoft Word and show you the dictation. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go ahead and just create a new document. And let's say you have a student that really struggles with writing. You might just choose this dictation option to have them get some words on the paper. So if you see up here in the top right hand corner, I'm going to click this button that says dictate, and now it says record, and it starts typing all of the words that I am saying, period. So it covers punctuation, you can ask questions, question mark, you can start a new paragraph. You can do all kinds of different things that will just get words on the paper, and then you can go back and then do all the editing. But for some kids, just getting words on the paper is difficult. And so once those words are there, you can go from there, but at least it gives you a starting point, period. And so you can actually see where I said the words new paragraph, and it eventually figured out that, oh, okay, I think she actually wanted me to start a new paragraph, period. As I'm speaking, there are clearly no punctuation marks in here other than the words that I'm saying, but I think it's a really great option for getting words on the paper for some kids. I'm going to go ahead and turn the recording off. And then from there, you can go back in and edit and talk about, okay, now what does this look like in writing, and how do we adjust from what we say to what we write? And I'm pretty sure that this dictation option is available in every Microsoft platform, but Word is a really convenient one for it to be used. The next one I'm going to show you is in OneNote. So I'm going to click over to OneNote, and I just have a document here that has some stuff I sent home for kids about this coronavirus closure. This may or may not all be completely untrue in the next couple of days, but here it is for now. So the thing that I really want to show you though is this immersive reader option. I'm going to delete a page really quick here and click on immersive reader. And once you click on immersive reader, it brings up this new format for you. And within this, there are some different options. You can change the text size. You can make it smaller or bigger for students who maybe have a harder time seeing. You can increase or decrease the spacing, change font. I really like that you can change the background color just for if nothing else, just some student choice in there, but also gives students the ability to see things a little bit differently depending on their eyesight. I just really like pink, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it on pink. And then if we go into grammar, this is one of my very favorite things. First of all, we can turn syllables on and off. That's cool, but not one of my very favorite. This option is parts of speech where we can turn on like, okay, show me all the nouns or show me all the verbs. I think that is so cool. You can look and actually see what's there. We can turn these labels on and off. If you have the labels on, it shows you V for verb and for noun right above the letters. And then I'm also going to go into the reading preferences. We can turn on line focus, and then it'll show us either 1 or 3 lines at a time. And then if I go just out of this in the line focus, we can either scroll up and down as you read, or you can actually have this read it out loud. So I'm going to click play. You can change whether the voice slows down or speeds up. So I'm going to just set it at a normal speed, male or female voice, and I'm going to click play.
0. Your priority during these 6 weeks is yours and your family's physical and mental health.
So you can see that it'll read you whatever document you are looking at as you follow along. And that can, I think I already showed you, could be set also as 1 line versus 3. I'm going to turn off the line focus so that it shows us the entire thing again. This picture dictionary will also show you images for various words. It doesn't have every single word, but it has some pretty surprising ones actually. So that's really cool. If you're unsure of what a word is, you can click on those options. And then this is really what I love. We can translate the document either by word or by document. So that's why I have it on by word. So if I click on a word, it'll read it to me.
Complete. Complete.
In both English and Spanish. I have it set specifically to Spanish, but you can change it to a variety of different languages. And then if I change document on, it then, I have it in not a normal character. This is where I had it on, was in Spanish. So if we turn it into Spanish, now my entire document's in Spanish, and I can click back and forth between the original document and the Spanish document. So that's pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and close out of Immersive Reader and show you one other translation option. If you have students who have English not as their first language, then this translate button is just really cool. If you click translate, you can set the language. I still have it set to Spanish. And if I click page, it's going to actually just directly translate that entire page into Spanish. So I know in math, I've been using this for word problems. It still keeps the English version. It just copies a new page in Spanish. So for students who struggle to read in English, this is a great option for them to be able to compare the English words to the Spanish words and start to make those connections. So that is OneNote, and I'm going to switch over to Microsoft Translator and show you this awesome option. So first, this is a separate app, so you can go into the Microsoft Store and download the Translator app. You can also do this on your phone. It has just normal translation options like Google Translate, history of words you've looked up before, some common phrases, but this is really the cool one, the one I'm most interested in. It's probably my favorite thing. So if you click on conversation, you can type in the conversation code. You'll see what that looks like in a second. Or you can just go to start conversation. So that's what I'm going to do. My name's Katie. I'm going to speak in English. And so I was saying earlier, the conversation code, if you have the app, you can just type the conversation code in. But if not, then you can just scan this QR code right here. You don't have to have the app. You can just scan the QR code and it'll bring up the option for you to choose whatever language you want it to be in. So if you're speaking to a room that has 10 different people who speak 10 different languages, they can each individually choose their own language. And then as I record what I'm saying, I'm going to go ahead and control spacebar record. Now you can see it's recording everything that I'm saying. So as I'm speaking, it's translating what I'm saying into whatever chosen language each individual has on their device, whether it's their phone or a computer. So it's translating it in two ways, both written, just like you're seeing now in English. It's translating it into whatever their chosen language is. But also, if they have an earbud in, then it will verbally translate it as well. So they can both be reading what you're saying as well as listening to what you're saying, which is awesome. I love that you can be speaking in English to a room full of people that don't speak English as their first language, and you can be communicating to all of them. So that's really cool. I'm going to go ahead and just turn this off for now. So you can either click on the microphone or do control space. And then if you go down here to conversation settings, if you click on that, there are some various options. This presenter mode would probably be a helpful one if you are presenting to a large group or to a class, for example. You might want this presenter mode on. It makes it so that they can't respond back. But if you're in a one-on-one conversation with a parent who doesn't speak English, then you can turn this presenter mode off like I have it, and you can then communicate back and forth to each other. So they can speak in whatever language they have chosen, and it will translate it then to you in English. So you can have that two-way conversation pretty easily. I love this. I think this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I think it just opens up so many opportunities for us to be able to communicate with people who don't speak the same language as us. And the fact that you can do it with multiple languages all at the same time. I think that is so cool. So just to review really quickly, we looked at PowerPoint and the closed caption option that's on PowerPoint. We looked at Word and this dictation piece that you could speak and it will type as you speak. We looked at OneNote and the immersive reader and translate options, and then we finished off with the Microsoft Translator app and this conversation piece. So I hope you guys are able to use some of these different accessibility resources throughout, especially this time where kids are not able to have their normal classroom setting. So hopefully some of these are helpful, and please feel free to come talk to me if you have any questions about anything.